Dawn Compton, the pastor at Main Street United Methodist Church, and I'm here today to bring you our weekly Wednesday Word. This Sunday is All Saints Sunday. It's the day that we remember those saints who have gone before us, who did faithful work in the church to allow the church to continue on into the next generation. We specifically remember and celebrate the life of those who have died in the past year since last All Saints Day. And so we're going to recognize those people in our worship service this Sunday. And just want to remind you that, and I'm going to mention this a few times in the next month, it does not require you to be perfect to be a saint. That's not the same thing. That's not what we're talking about, that saints were all perfect. What it means is that they did the best they could in trying to listen to God. They were faithful as best they could in doing what God had called them to do. Those saints are all beloved children of God. So we do tend to think about people in the church who really were active, whether they were pastors, whether they were lay staff, different kinds of ways that they served in the church. And I want to lift up one person right now, not necessarily because she was a bishop, but because she did a great deal of work to try and help the United Methodist Church live into our conviction of being an inclusive church, a church for all God's children, a church that has a place for everybody at God's table. And I want to talk about Leontine Kelly. I think I may have mentioned her to Main Street in the past, but just in case, let you know, Leontine Kelly was born in Georgetown. And she and her family, her parents, and they had 8 children in that family, moved up to Cincinnati and lived there for most of her childhood. She eventually did make her way back to Virginia and worked here in Virginia for a long time as a teacher. And she loved to learn. And I truly can relate to that. I loved going to school and learning and participating in classes. But she loved learning. Because I want you to listen to all of the different schools that she attended. She went to Virginia Union University. She went to North Texas State. She went to the University of Cincinnati. She went to William and Mary. She went to Wesley Theological School and Union Theological School. Those are all the schools that she attended. Now, she also eventually got a number of schools awarded her an honorary doctorate. So she did a lot of learning. And then she passed that learning on to others. She served for a while in the Virginia Annual Conference. She ended up serving on the conference level and then at the general church level for a while. But beyond that, because of her work that she was doing, especially on the general church level, where people were interacting with her from all over the country, she was being respected. She was being listened to for her voice and inclusivity and other works that she was doing. And so in 1984, it came time to vote for our bishops. We have a voting for new bishops to replace those that are retiring every 4 years. And so in 1984, it was the election time for that. And the Virginia Annual Conference was where she was ordained, and Virginia is part of the southeastern jurisdiction. And typically, you vote for bishops within your jurisdiction. So we vote for here in the southeast, and we don't go up north, we don't go further out west. So we're not going to elect a bishop here in Virginia as part of the southeast jurisdiction for somebody up in Maine or for somebody out in Texas, right? They would serve in the southeastern jurisdiction. Well, we didn't elect Bishop Kelly in our jurisdiction. The people out in California, they had seen what she was doing. They had heard about her. They had spent time with her from the general church office that she held. And the people elected her bishop out in California. So she went out there and was the bishop of the San Francisco area from 1984 until 1988 when she retired. Now, the reason that this is significant is that prior to her election, there had only been one other female elected bishop. One. And remember, this was 1984. And there had been no other African-American female bishops. She was the first African-American female bishop of the United Methodist Church. So she broke some ground for that, but she did a lot more than just that. She did a lot of work for the church. She did a lot of work to spread the good news of Jesus Christ. She did a lot of work to transform the world by making disciples of Jesus Christ. So I lift up Leah Teen Kelly to you today as a saint that I think about and that I respect and that I honor and want to celebrate her life and let other people know about her so they can celebrate her life as well. Do want to lift up a few items that's going on here at Main Street. First is that our Brunswick Stew is this Saturday. If you bought some stew, you placed your order already, you can come pick it up Saturday, anytime between 9 and 11 Saturday morning. Between 9 and 11 Saturday morning. We do want to have a bake sale that happens along that same time. Thinking if people come in to get their stew and then they'll see something really yummy to eat to go with it, that they might, purchase that as well. But we're still needing some items for that. We don't have as many participants as we did last year. So if you are willing to do a baked good, it could be a yummy dessert, or it could be some cornbread or some rolls, biscuits, something that could go with the Brunswick Stew. That would be greatly appreciated. And you just need to bring it to the church by 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. We would love for you to participate, and so we could have those extra baked goods to go along with the stew on Saturday. The other thing that's happening on Saturday is our Charge Conference. We are meeting with some other churches at 10:30 on Saturday morning. Our Charge Conference will be between 10:30 and 12:30. We're going to be at Rustburg United Methodist Church. If you would like to ride in the church van, anyone that's going to Charge Conference, if you would like to ride in the van, we're going to meet here at the church at 9:30 to load up and get there. You don't have to ride the church van if you want to drive yourself, so you can take off directly from there or do some other errands that you might have in Lynchburg during that time. You can drive separately, but know that the church van is going to be leaving here about 9:30 on Saturday if you would like to participate in that. Charge Conference, everyone who is on our church council is encouraged to attend. We want to hear what's going on. I understand that some other saints from the church are going to be there. We're going to have Susanna Wesley, we're going to have John Wesley and Charles Wesley there at this Charge Conference. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting and help us maybe to grow our church, figuring out some ways that we can continue to grow Main Street United Methodist Church. And then the last item that I'm going to lift up is our elevator. You know that we've been talking about upgrading our elevator. We had a campaign a little bit earlier called Give Main Street a Lift, where we had people that pledged or that gave funds to help cover the cost of the elevator. And we are ready to begin the work on it. It is going to start, the work's going to start on Monday, November 3rd. And so I just want everybody to be aware that work is beginning. And we are asking, starting then the second Sunday in November, on that Sunday, If you normally need the elevator, we encourage you to park in the upper parking lot. Park in the parking lot off of Main Street, and you can come in the sacristy door, come in the other end of the sanctuary. If you normally use the elevator, we encourage you to park up here. If you can walk up the steps, if you're capable and you don't mind walking up the steps, but you usually park up here, I encourage you to park down below. Park in the Washington Street parking lot and come up the steps so that those that need to park a little bit closer are able to do that. We're going to do our best to have a valet or somebody that can help up here, so if we run out of spots in the upper area, that somebody could be there that could drive your car down to Washington Street before the service and bring it back up after, so that you could still walk in this way and you don't have to worry about coming up and down the stairs. We anticipate that the elevator may be out of commission 2 to 3 Sundays. We'd love for it to be lesser, but we're going to kind of plan for 3 Sundays that it might be out of commission. This will be starting the second Sunday in November. So this will make sure that we would have the elevator back up and running before Advent and all of our fun Advent activities and worship services that we do then. So thank you for your help with that, to make sure that everybody can come in and worship and aren't excluded because they can't go up the stairs. Friends, I look forward to worshiping with you this Sunday in person at 10:30, or worshiping with you online as we celebrate All Saints Sunday. God bless.